All right, morning everybody. It looks like we are starting to get going with the live stream. As I mentioned on Facebook, I have no idea where this is going to come up on the Facebook group. It may come up in the actual page itself as a post, or it may come up as a little highlight next to the events side of things. So I'm not really sure, but let's see where we go from here. So, my name is Quintin Mills. I'm a photographer based in Joburg, and today I'm going to try and get across a couple of concepts that can see you or help you get through this lockdown period. Still in business, still afloat, but maybe not just still afloat, maybe that little bit ahead of the curve. I think that there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of opportunity, but you've got to put in the work. There's no easy way to go around this. All right, so I can see your comments as well. Please ask them. I see there's Anton Best is there. Morning, Anton. Thank you very much. All right, so the other thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort that out. Okay, so maybe we should get going. So we're going to start with a blank slate. No formatting here. This is a couple of slides which are going to be very boring, but let's try and focus on that. There is no shortcuts. If you're going to get through this, you've got to put in the effort. There's absolutely no shortcut here. You have to put in the work. It's not enough to have passion and a camera. You need to be working on your craft and on your business on a daily basis. There's no substitute for hard work, and sometimes you need a bucket load of luck as well. But it's like everything in life. You want to do it properly, it's hard work. So who am I? As I said, my name is Quintin Mills. I'm a husband, father, creative director, photographer, Land Rover Defender 110 owner for my sins, just trying to go about my life being creative and doing creative things on a daily basis. Today, I have been running my own business for 7,666 days. That's 21 years. I don't think you can be a small business for 21 years without your fair share of hustle. It's what it's all about. Just keep pushing. So I've been running it for 7,666 days, except for the days I've spent in a corner with a comforting rocking motion and crying hysterically. Let me tell you, I'm pretty sure that's happened quite often to a lot of people. It's sometimes part of the process. All right, where are we going here? So the other thing, it's a problem that I have that I need to work on is don't let the need for perfection and fear hold you back. Being fearful and wanting things to be perfect has been my constant companion. Don't worry about what others think. Just start, shoot it, try new things, go for it. Your best is good enough. You just got to start. Don't worry about what someone else is doing on Instagram, Facebook, etc. You just start, shoot what you want to shoot, have fun with it, and go for it. Don't hold yourself back. Right. Then one more thing. Hi, Roland. How's it going? How's it, Mark? Ray. All right. So the assumption. This is the assumption that I'm working from. You have a bit of a brand and some cool images, and you want to make a change. The choice that you have is this lockdown period is the worst thing to ever have happened to you, or the best thing that's ever happened to you. I've got a colleague in another group who, at this, when this whole lockdown was announced, said, "Oh, my business is closed. There's nothing I can do. I can't take orders, etc." And it's absolutely not the case. There's no reason why you can't take orders and still sell your product, because when this lockdown does get lifted, be it on the 16th or whenever, as soon as it's lifted, companies will be open for business. And if you've got 100 orders that you can get delivered on day one, that's 100 orders you're ahead of someone else of. Obviously, you're going to need to chat to your distribution companies, etc. But the point is, why stop? Keep doing the work. Keep putting in the work. So remember, this is the great equalizer. Everyone is in this boat. It's not that you're the only one that's sitting here not sure what to do. Everyone is in this boat. Reassess, revise, reinvigorate. I'll keep going on about that sort of thing, but you've got to reassess everything that you are and everything that you do in order to create the best first impression possible for you and your brand. So reassess everything. Revise what you no longer need or do. Reinvigorate yourself as a brand. And we'll go through these as we go through the presentation. So let's start with your brand. You know, that's where it all starts from. So your brand, the description of a brand is as follows. A brand is the way a company, organization, or individual is perceived by those who experience it. More than simply a name, term, design, or symbol, a brand is a recognizable feeling or a product a business provokes. Brands then live in the mind. They live in the minds of everyone who experiences them, employees, investors, the media, and perhaps most importantly, the customers. Simply put, brands are perceptions. So what perception does your brand currently create? So your logo, I just want to see if I can turn this in picture goodie there off. I don't know if we need that. So your logo, your website, and your marketing materials all create a perception of you and your brand. Do you want to target high-end clients, the ones with money? Well, then so must your brand. They're expecting to see the same level of quality, design, and messaging as the products they associate with. So imagine seeing an ad for Audi, a brochure for Rolex, the manual that comes with your specialized 150,000 Rand mountain bike. That's the kind of impression that people with money are expecting. They want to associate or put themselves in the pictures that you take and go, that will be awesome. I will look awesome in that person's pictures. So if yes, score 1 to you. If not, reassess, revise, and reinvigorate. So first impressions, your website. Your website is the first impression for 90% of your potential clients. People are going to search awesome, or best, in fact, I've got an example later, best photographer in Johannesburg. Because they want to have the best photographer in Johannesburg shoot whatever it is that they want. You can't have a PDF with some pictures and a Facebook page and expect to get someone to pay 10,000 Rand for a shoot. It's not going to happen. The site must be well designed and load fast. Obviously, as fast as an image-heavy website can, but there are ways around that as well. Show your best images. Don't show 3,000 images. First of all, they're not all. You don't have 3,000 best images, and people will get bored eventually. So just relook those images and choose the best ones. Search engine optimization, SEO. Everyone is talking about SEO, search engine optimization, etc. And it's critical. If someone can't find your work, well, you don't exist. They will find the next person on the list. So let's say you shoot products, so product photographer. Do me a favor, go and have a look on Google, search for product photographer. There will be millions of results. So think about then, kitchen product photographer, which then becomes a bit more focused, a bit more niched. There will be fewer results in Google. Then say kitchen product photographer Midrand. That's even more niche. And if you start thinking about your SEO like that and targeting it, you're going to get more results and more hits. So that's something definitely to look at. So as I said, best photographer in Johannesburg. I'm doing a presidential thing here. 3,390,000 results for best photographer in Joburg. It's crazy. Sadly, I was only on page 4, so I'm clearly not one of the best. But there's a lot of competition out there. So the other thing is not just things like your website and your marketing materials, etc. It's your responses. How quickly do you respond to emails, and when you respond to them, what is that response? Do you have a set of responses that you have and you copy and paste in there? Do you have a brochure that you attach with it? What is the tone? How are you interacting? Remember, this is they've seen your website, like your images, and now this is like that next part where they've decided they're going to get a quote from you. What is that impression that you're giving there? How do you provide your packages? Is it a beautiful brochure or is it an Excel spreadsheet? You would be amazed at how many photographers send an Excel spreadsheet as an attachment that contains their prices. I want a little bit more warm and fuzzy. An Excel spreadsheet is not going to sell you on me. I want the same attention to detail applied to me as you apply to yourself and your product. So make sure that it's spot on. And then here we go. Are you providing costs, or are you selling the dream? You need to be telling the story and telling the story. I remember, I think it was a workshop I did with David Beckstead many years ago. And it was about, when that interaction, when people phoned him and he was now trying to close that wedding booking. And he would what he would do is he would physically go outside, stand on his patio, his veranda, and he would look out over the vista and the hills in the distance of where he stayed. And that was that gave him the motivation to close this client, because closing clients is what gave him that. So you need to sell it if you want to get that. You need to make the whole experience amazing. So let's look at your offering. How long have you been doing this? Are you still providing the same services you did when you first started? Yeah, Ray, yeah, absolutely. That auto response, I get more people talking about that auto response than a lot of other things. And it's simple. It's an auto response, very simple to do. Okay, so back onto this. So you let's say you 5 years ago you shot anything and everything because you wanted to get into photography, but now your main income is architecture. Do you still do kids parties? Are they still on your website? And then something that I looked at fairly recently is, should I be separating my commercial and lifestyle websites? Should they be in the same website, or should they be separate? And I put it out on Facebook. I didn't really get that much of a response. And I think it's probably because, well, people just don't know what will it work? What do we do? And I've started the process of doing that, and I've separated my lifestyle, family, newborn, etc. shoots into a separate site, and my commercial work on its own site, so that you start talking commercially to commercial clients and warm and fuzzy to lifestyle clients, because the message is slightly different. So again, if you need to look at your offering, revise it and reinvigorate it, let's see what's there that shouldn't be there, what should be there and isn't there, and that's how we can sort that out. And then roll that out across your website and your marketing materials. As I say, now commercial message will be one thing, lifestyle will be something different. It's very difficult to, if you're trying to sell, an industrial client, Sasol, something like that, a big shoot that you're planning, but inside there's a newborn shoot as well, and I feel it mixes the messages a little bit. So that's why I've done that. And then restructuring. You can't stay the same all the time. Change is the only constant. You've got to keep trying different things, looking at different things, and reassessing where you are. I think we all need to expect the lockdowns to be extended. The virus will not miraculously be gone by the 16th of April when the lockdown ends. Absolutely. So you need to expect it to continue, and use this time to revisit and reinvigorate your business and brand, and then plan accordingly. You can't just sit back and go, there's 10 days left, there's 5 days left, and then hope that when it all lifts, we'll be back to normal. It's not going to be that way. Things have changed dramatically, and we all need to change along with it. We need to look at our business plans and the way we do business and find a way to make it work. As a photographer, you need to think about how you can find a use for your skills online. I can't go and shoot anything. I'm not allowed out of the house. So people, I can't shoot people. Places, can't shoot places. Products, can't shoot products. The only way I'm going to shoot products is if a client sends in a drone with their products and I shoot it and then upload the image. Other than that, it's not going to happen. My revenue streams have completely dried up from an actual photography point of view, and it's the same with every other photographer out there. So, are you looking at tutorials? Are you looking at retouching, editing other photographers' work? If not, you need to consider that. Selling images online. Roger Seders said that he's now offering his images for $7 for personal use. So it's not commercial use, but people can now, have a picture of some of his amazing work for $7, and that's a way that he's looking at getting around that. Sell prints. There's no reason why you can't sell prints. Again, you probably need a drone to send it to to your clients, but sell the prints. Sell them now. And when the lockdown is lifted, if it's lifted for a longer term or shorter term, then you can get those delivered. But it's revenue that's coming in. Again, reassess, revise, and reinvigorate. You need to be looking at this all the time. All right, personal projects. I don't know how many of you do personal projects. I should be doing more, but it's the fear. Will it be good enough? I need it to be perfect. And all of those things stop me from taking the next step. It's very, very difficult to be sitting in a situation where you want to do things but you're too scared, and it's my biggest problem. If I could eliminate fear from my life, I think things would be dramatically different. So, as I mentioned earlier on, don't and it's advice that I'm trying to take myself. Don't worry about what other people think. Just go out and do it. The more you do it, the better it is and easier it is. So, personal projects. Personal projects build passion in yourself, and it's not just you can't just be passionate and be a successful photographer. It's the work, but the passion that you feel for a particular subject will make you go and work at it and try harder and try new things. For example, if you love horses, consider shooting a long-term personal project on horses. Think about the characters, tell their stories. So portraits, lifestyle, details, products. All of these are improving your skills and your portfolio. So you're looking at sort of wider landscape shots. There you're practicing, balancing bright skies, dark shadows, etc. The portraits, sometimes the stables are quite dark, but maybe there's a shaft of light that comes through, and where are you positioning them? What is the composition? These projects where you've got no clients other than yourself are a perfect way to just push the boundaries. Do whatever you want to. It's all up to you at the end of the day. Also, if you love the project, it'll show up in your work, and this will attract clients for what you want to shoot. Money follows passion. If you're passionate about something and you put effort into it and you love it, that will start. The aura will go out and reach other people. People will see it and they will book you for those projects. And because you love horses and you're doing these projects on horses, people with horses will come to you to shoot projects about horses. So there we go. You'll also push your boundaries and learn new skills and techniques, and that's important. You need to keep reassessing yourself for your skills and your techniques, and what can you do differently. That I mentioned might also be fun. Trying to do these cool projects. All right, so clients. You're possibly not going to get very many new clients at this point in time, but when last did you contact every single client that you ever photographed? I've been doing this for, I don't know, maybe 18, 19 years. I don't think I've got the email addresses of the people that I first photographed, and that's a problem. I think that people need to be, you need to be in contact with these people, because it's much simpler to get an existing client to buy your product than to convince a new one to do it. There's already trust in that relationship, so it's a much easier sell. So I would suggest it's very important to just make a list of every single client that you've ever photographed and send them an email. Don't ask them for work. Just touch base and rekindle the relationship. There was a reason why they booked you in the first place. There's no reason why they won't use you in the future. And as I said, don't ask them for work. Just reach out, rekindle, and then ask them how you can help them. They might need a photograph that you took years ago for their business, and in that process you might be able to make a couple of $100 for getting that out of an archive, or they may turn around and say, listen, I've got this big project which I need photographed, can you do it? It's so simple, but it's really more about giving than expecting to get back. You've got to build those relationships. All right, bit of marketing. Traditional marketing, obviously flyers, leaflets, adverts, etc. But obviously, that's it's expensive and it's quite short term. If you've got magazines in your house at the moment, I can bet that over the last 10 days you've maybe read them once, twice. If it goes on a little bit longer, you might read them a third time. But once you've read it, you're probably not going to go back to that magazine. So I think that's old school. There's a place for it, but not for us as photographers. Modern marketing is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Flim Flam, or whatever newfangled thing is out there. I'm getting a bit old in the tooth now, so I mean, this TikTok thing, I don't really see the point of it, but apparently it's big. You've got to be looking at these things and seeing how it can work for you. Also, your clients are on Instagram and Facebook, etc. Where have you been for the last 10 days? You haven't been looking at magazines. You've been on Instagram. And that's where you need to be. You also need to generate an insane amount of content. If you've got a website, which we've covered before, you have to be posting. And I would say you've got the time now. Post every single day. Look at different categories. If you shoot portraits and food and pets, do like a Monday portraits, Tuesday pets, etc. But constant content. The more content you have, the more Google will be able to give that back to people when they're trying to search for that. Website posts with proper SEO. As I mentioned before, if you're wanting to grow your pet photography business, you need to make sure that the keywords that you're putting into those articles on your blog have got the keywords in them, and that you're using the proper plugins, etc. in your websites, so that you can actually get the best benefit out of it. Social media, you have to be posting on Instagram, Facebook, etc. That's where your clients are. They're there right now. So as I said there, where have you spent the last 10 days? It's Instagram and Facebook, social media, YouTube, Netflix, etc. So that's where you need to be, and you need to be there constantly. All right, setting goals. I'm the worst person on the planet for setting goals. My goal was always to stay in business. Everyone wants to stay in business, but it's intangible. So how? What do I do to stay in business? Do I just keep coming to work? For me, it's a difficult concept to look at. So you've got to come at it from a different angle. So how about this for a goal? Spend 3 months a year in my landy in an African country shooting portraits, landscapes, and birds. So that might be a bit blue sky thinking, but it's a goal, And as I said, I'm getting goosebumps, and automatically the passion, the excitement, etc. That's the kind of thing that you need to get you through any situation. So let's say that's the goal. That's got things I can now focus on. I can say, well, there's planning. So where am I going to go? Where am I going to stay? How's it going to work? What are we going to do? Mood boards. I can get pictures that I think will work really well. Put them up. What style am I going to shoot? Am I going to try some new lighting? I saw this other lighting the other day. It's just one light and it's quite dark. All of a sudden you're going and you've got thoughts and ideas and the starting point for where you're going to go. And then, of course, where can I sell these images? If you can, think big. Maybe National Geographic will buy them. But you've got to start somewhere. Maybe someone will buy these images. Maybe someone will pay you to go and shoot these images. So again, there's now you've just got these things to work on, and you can plan it and set it up. And also set a date. It's very difficult to have a goal that you're going to get to at some stage. If you set a date, it doesn't have to be Thursday at 4 p.m. Maybe it's something, like August next year, I'm going to be in the Masai Mara. There we go, date set. And then the other thing that you can look at, and just as a caveat for all of this, this is my solution to this problem. I'm not the best photographer on the planet. I'm not the busiest photographer on the planet. I'm probably not the most scared photographer on this planet, but I know that I need to do something, and I'm doing it. And these are the ways that I'm looking at to make a difference for my business and to make my business viable. And I know that there's more ideas, and I think we can talk about that afterwards in the comments. But for now, you've got to do something, and these are my go-to suggestions. So, educating yourself, very, very important. Online training, workshops, videos, one-to-ones, YouTube. There is so much stuff out there. In fact, I got an email this morning regarding a filmmaker's course, which in light of this whole pandemic, he's now giving away for free. There's a lot of that going on. Go and educate yourself. It's the best way to improve. See what's out there, what techniques that people are using. You may not use them, but it's in the back of your mind, and you may modify that for something that could work for you. Virtual meetups. So these can a group can form out of this where you have a couple of people that decide to get together every morning for half an hour. Just how are we doing? What can we do? What are we doing today? Blah blah blah, etc. etc. The other thing, and it's something that I'm going to start this week, is well, let's take a step back. Find images you love and recreate them in your studio, in your lounge. So one of the things I'm going to start this week is putting up a picture and getting everyone who wants to get involved to recreate that image. So let's say it's a portrait, but it's a one-light portrait, really dark and moody. You try and recreate that, from a lighting point of view, etc. And it's just a way of practicing, and we'll do this across a whole range of different subjects. But it gets you practicing and thinking, well, how did they do that? How am I going to do that? What do I need? Was it one light? Was it two lights? How did they get the shadow around the side? And I think that'll be a pretty cool project. And then obviously post them on groups for advice. The one problem that I have with a lot of photography groups on Facebook is there's a lot of egos involved. There's a lot of people that are coming in and they've got a cell phone and they take a picture and it's a rubbish. But there's no reason to tell them it's rubbish, you shouldn't be here. It's a perfect opportunity for you to use your skills to educate them. How could they have done it better? And then start a dialogue with them. Why not? Say, cool, why don't you try this? When you've done it, post it again, and then we'll take it from there. I think if you go out trying to help people, it's amazing what comes back to you. All right, be open to different approaches and ideas. You may only shoot natural lights, or you may only shoot with a flash. Try something else. Try it the other way around. You never know. You have to keep learning, or you will stand still, and everyone else who is learning will just stream past you. Okay, so we've seen a couple of prezos this week where people have said, I've said it. I'm a bit of a fanboy for Kim Ludbrook, etc., and Craig Dutton. I wish I was there. When I was a bit younger, I really wanted to be join Greenpeace and go and photograph, the little rib in front of the big trawler that's stopping that would have been fantastic. But at the end of the day, it's a business. If you want to be a photographer, it's a business, and you need to treat it like a business. You will spend less time shooting than you will editing, marketing, chasing payments, quoting, following up, and negotiating. That's a fact. Accurate pricing is critical. Have you asked yourself if what you're charging is actually covering your costs? Because there's a lot of complaints about this person's, they're charging $250 for a shoot and whatever. It's a problem, and we'll go through now as to why that's a problem. So, does it cover your camera and your computer equipment? Does it cover your marketing efforts and materials, your water and lights bill, insurance on your equipment, your living expenses, medical aid, petrol? See where this is going? You need to make sure that what you're charging is going to cover your costs, because the basic principle of business is more profit than expenses. If you've got more profit than expenses, successful business. You may not like the business you're in, but it's profitable. So as I mentioned earlier, $250 for a shoot on location with hair and makeup is not going to cover your costs. If that's what you're offering, then you're not taking it seriously, and you won't make it as a photographer. So I did a bit of an exercise yesterday, an assumed figure of exercises. So we'll kind of go through that and see where we get to. Let's work out your expenses. This means everything. Cigarettes, gin and tonic, food, new shoes, hair gel, the works. Everything that you have to pay for to survive. Petrol, all those things that you don't think about. So let's assume, and I don't know what the average salary of a person is. I mean, I've been out of the job market for 21 years. I have no idea what people earn. But let's assume you need 30 grand a month to survive. That's 360,000 rand a year. If you shoot one shoot per day, every day for a year, you'll need to charge 986 rand 30 cents to cover your costs. Can you book a shoot every single day? I think if you can, you're doing well. Trust me. So let's say you can't, and you shoot 15 shoots per month. Every one of those shoots is going to have to be a minimum of 2,000 rand. If you only shoot 10 shoots a month, that's 3,000 rand per shoot. So the question again is, are you charging enough? And I mean, I was speaking to a photographer yesterday, asking the same sort of thing, and I said 15 shoots a month, whatever, and he said if you're shooting 15 shoots a month, you're pretty you're doing well, and I think for the most part that's really what it comes down to. You're not going to shoot every day. There's a lot of photographers out there. There's a lot of talented photographers out there. You can't expect to shoot every day. Unless you're charging too little, in which case you need to up your fees. So yeah, your costs are important. This is a business. You can't see it as a cool thing that you do sometimes. It's not going to pay. It's a business. So you need to revisit your expenses and your fees. Reassess, revise, and reinvigorate. You may still be charging a nominal amount for a family shoot out and whatever. Have a look at those costs. What does it cost you to get there? Are you charging travel time? Are you charging fuel? Definitely. Are you charging travel time? I don't know. It's a difficult one. Then, how long are you there to shoot? How long are you coming back and editing for, etc.? What else do you offer? You can't have $250 and you have a hair and makeup, you have a photo book, you have 20 prints. It's not going to work. So you need to reassess that. All right. And to end with, you've got to get up every day at the same time. Shave, shower, put on your uniform. If you're a businessman, put on your suit. It's still business as usual. If you're sitting watching TV until 11 or sleeping until 11, getting up, doing some stuff, checking some emails, etc., the people that are hustling now are going to be earning the revenue that you've missed out on in the near future. You have to see that as business as usual. In fact, it's not business as usual. It's more than usual. You need to be looking at different ways, different options, etc. And that means getting up, shaving, brush your teeth, coffee, come to work at the same time. It's important. That routine you need to get into. As photographers, we need to make the shift away from trading our time for money and towards multiple income streams and owning our intellectual property. One of the biggest bugbears that I have is that, if I do a shoot for a client, I want to own the copyright of that image. I'm going to give them a license to use it for what they need to use it for, but it's my image. I own the copyright for it. If you take that away, well, then what about then it's just a service that I provided, and you haven't, you don't benefit from it. So that's another discussion that we need to have. There are big issues with it, and unless everyone is on the same page, it's not going to work. You can't be giving away your images. That one image you can license to a client, you can license it to another client, you can license it to another client, and you can make 3, 4, 5 times off that if you still own that copyright, and you get to have your your revenue based on the products that you're selling and not the time that it took to do it. Please think carefully about shooting for exposure. I mean, I understand it. I've done it, and you've got to. I'll give you a prime example. If you want to shoot architecture and you don't have the opportunity to get into that fancy Discovery building in Sandton, then approach them and say, listen, I want to shoot the building. I'll give you the images, etc. There, problem one is you're giving away the images, but you're getting access to that building. So there are cases where if you shoot for exposure, it needs to be a conscious decision. You can't just have, some famous soapy artist comes to you and says, oh, it's our wedding, we need it free, because we'll give you exposure. We've got lots of people coming, and my social media Instagram account's got 10,000 people on it, and they'll all love you because I'll put your name there. No, it's bullshit. They will not do it. And there's nothing you can do afterwards. If you simply having your name there means nothing. It's not going to change your life at all. So don't shoot for exposure. It's as simple as that. We can also use this time to cultivate our marketing skills, building an audience, and in this case, a new audience. It's not business as usual, and lay the groundwork for a self-sufficient career. We've really got to use this time now. It's an opportunity. As I said earlier, we're all in the same boat. Everyone is suffering from this, and if you're not doing it, you're going to be struggling. I see Stephen Riley on there talking about estate agents. So one thing that he said that he posted on his page in the last couple of days was a new tool. I can't remember. Sorry, Stephen. I can't remember the name of it. Which allowed estate agents to do virtual walkthroughs of properties. That's an example of saying, what can I do? What else is out there? How can I make what I do still generate revenue? You've got to be looking at things from a different perspective and seeing how it can work for you. You've got to reassess everything. Nothing is the same. You've got to reassess everything: what you do, how you do it, the way you charge for it, etc. If in that assessment you find things that are a problem, you've got to change them, and you've got to change them quickly. I would say today, go and look at this. Go and see if there are problems. Go and look at your website. How fast does it load? What's the content like? Is there still stuff on there from 10 years ago? You need to be making a change now, and then reinvigorate. It's very easy to thanks, Stephen. That little goodie is called Matterport. Appreciate it. Thanks, Stephen. You need to reinvigorate yourself. Everyone is this lockdown, and there's negativity all over the place. I started off watching Sky News and those channels on YouTube and talking about what was happening and how many deaths, and it started to affect me, and I've cut that out now. You need to rise above that. You need to, whatever it takes. You need to get up out of that sort of heavy blanket of what's going on, and reinvigorate yourself. You need to really get up and go, because the people that are doing that are going to be successful. Those are the people that are going to come out of this with options and with potential coming forward. All right. So how can I help you? That's really what all of this at the end is coming to. I mean, as you know, I started the Lockdown 21 Photography Sessions group because I knew there were hundreds, if not thousands, of photographers out there that were in the same boat as I am. Every single booking that I had on my books is gone. There's nothing there. I don't know when that's going to come back. I don't know if it's going to come back. And I knew that if I didn't do something to keep myself busy, that my dark passenger would overwhelm me, and that would really spell disaster. So I created this group so that people could have options. There was inspiration. There was how did you do this? How did you do that? What about this? Try this, etc. It was a way to get people to take their minds off of what's going on out there through photography, and then also let's assess your business and see how we can make that something that can survive all of this. So from my part, I'm available for one-to-ones where we can assess your business, see where it's at, and I can give you some advice. If you want to take it further, we can do it on a more professional basis. Where the first ones I'll consult. It's no problem. I won't charge. But going forward, obviously, I need to try and find a way out of this financially. So we'll look at charging for those sorts of things where we get into specifics with regards to your brand and your website, etc. I also provide a range of photographic training from the basics to of your camera to off-camera flash. Obviously, these will be online until this Corona thing passes. Let's see what we can do. We can do it individual. We can do it with groups. But at the end of the day, I'm here to help. If I can help you, I will. You've just got to reach out and let's see where we go from this. So I think that's pretty much it for me. Thank you very much for being part of this. I hope everyone got a little bit of benefit out of this, and let's see where we go. I want to invite everyone to just comment on the group. Let's have other options. What else what are other things that people are doing? If you've got an idea, put it in there. Let's see. I think everyone just put in your thoughts, and let's see where we can go from here. So thanks everyone. Appreciate it. And let's make today awesome. Remember, reassess and reinvigorate. Go out there, look at what you've got, see how you can make it better. Cheers.